Hey y'all, it's Jourdan here from the Enrichment Center. We're going to do another craft today. Today we are going to be making a canvas wall hanger out of a canvas and a t-shirt. You can hang it on your wall. You can do something with a fun design on it, just a simple print, something to add some color to your wall, whatever you feel like you have. The fun thing with this one is you don't have to go out and buy any fabric or anything like that. You can just grab an old t-shirt from home. That's what I did with mine. So I've got my old shirt here and I'm gonna add that to this canvas so I can add some fun things to my wall. We are in a different place today. You see we're outside today, changing it up a little bit. We will be using a staple gun. So that's the reason I wanted to come outside. I didn't want to echoing around in the room, but feel free to do it wherever you are comfortable. So first of all, you're gonna need your canvas. I have got mine. I just went to Hobby Lobby, got a canvas. You can do any size. It really depends on the design on your shirt or what fabric you're going to be using. So I just got one that matched my shirt. So got my shirt here. I've got scissors. We're going to need to cut our shirt. And then I've got just a regular staple gun. And I just brought my staples just so you can see them, but it's regular staples that go in the gun. Any size will work. You're just going to need something that's going to be thick enough to go through the back of the canvas. So when you have a canvas, you can see it's already down with the staple gun. It's not gonna really work with a regular stapler. So if you don't have a staple gun, maybe you can ask a friend if you can borrow one. That way you can do this fun thing. So I've got my shirt here. Hope y'all like it. What I'm gonna do first is I just laid it out on my canvas to make sure the design fit on there, and you can see this is going to fit really nice on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my canvas out of the way, and I'm going to just cut the shirt so that it's just the front of the shirt. I don't want it to be too bulky on there. So I'm going to go up from the side. Finding some good scissors is also very important with this. It's hard to cut fabric with dull scissors. So I find it best to cut the shirt just straight up the side, and then once I get ready to put it on the canvas, I can trim it down to whatever size I need. So you can see I'm just going straight up beside the sleeve of the shirt. And it also helps if you pull the shirt tight to be able to cut a little bit easier there. Again, doesn't have to be a straight line, anything like that. We're just cutting the front from the back to make it a little easier when we put it on the canvas. So I've got this side cut, gonna go across to the other side now. I'm just going straight up the side. Sometimes when it doesn't want to cut, I do just pull it a little bit tighter. That way it cuts a little easier. And when you get to the top, we'll just cut straight across the top, going right by the seam. That way we don't have to worry about cutting across a seam or anything like that. Again, you could get a small canvas. You could do it out of a kid's shirt or, you know, any size. I've actually made another one. I'll show you in just a minute. I made one already, and I used a smaller canvas for that one because it had a smaller design on it. I'm just going up across the top, going around the collar. This one, my design is kind of high on my shirt, so I'm just going to get as close to the collar as I can. And then at the end, I can always trim it down once it's on the canvas. And this is really the longest part of this, cutting your shirt out. So once you've got your shirt cut, you'll be able to fly through the rest of this. It's also fun being outside. Get to hear all the birds chirping and all the things people are doing around. So if you haven't gone outside lately, make sure you get outside. It's my little extra bit of information there. So So of course, right when I get to the end, it's gonna give me a hard time, but we got it. It's always a little harder going around the corners. Again, finding good scissors it will make this a whole lot easier. We almost got it. Okay. So now back on my shirt, just gonna get rid of it, put it off to the side. And you can see I've just cut the front of my shirt out and I'm just gonna lay it across my canvas. So when I lay it down, I just wanna make sure it's centered on there the way I want it to be whenever we're done, because we're gonna staple it on with it upside down. So you try to get it as straight as you can. Make sure nothing's hanging off the side. When you do turn it over, you want to make sure you don't pull it too tight. So don't stretch it and pull it completely out like that, because it is going to leave a weird shape there at the end. So what I'm going to do is hold the sides like this, and then I'm just going to flip it over. So what I think works best is doing the long sides and then coming back to do across the short sides. So I've got my long sides pulled over. I'm not even going to worry about how long it is down on the end right now. And I'm going to go ahead and start stapling. So if you've never used one of these, they're really easy to use. You're just going to apply pressure down, push the handle down. It is kind of loud, but very easy to use a staple gun. So I'm going to stand up just so I can add some pressure to mine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up here close to the corner. You can do it close to the edge or a little bit farther in. You just want to make sure it gets on that lip of the canvas. So I'm just going to hold the shirt so it's a little tight and push down. I'm going to go every couple inches, add a staple. And again, just making sure the shirt is pulled tight. And I'll do 2 more on this side. I don't want to get directly in the corner because I am going to fold it over when I get to the other side. So I'm going to leave a little bit of space there at the corner. And you can see that's simple to get that on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side before I lift it back up, just so it doesn't move any. So again, I'm going to hold the shirt just a little bit tight. Go ahead and staple, skipping a few inches. So you are careful with your fingers. We don't want anybody stapling their finger to their shirt. And I'll put 1 more on this side. Okay, so you can see, well, it's kind of hard to see the staples, but I've got all the way down the side and how it's going to be on the front. So now I'm going to go across the top side. And there's a lot of excess fabric up here. I've found the easiest way to do it is kind of like how you would wrap presents. So I'm going to turn one side. I'm actually going to cut a little bit of this off because where I went around the collar, there's just a lot of fabric at the top. So I'm just going to cut a little bit off, and then I can still cut the excess off later, just so it's not too bulky up there when I get ready to staple it. All right, so just like you would wrap a present, when you get to the corner, I'm just going to fold it and kind of lift it up some so you can see it. So I'm going to fold one side under and then across the back. As long as you've got a nice square edge right there, it's going to look fine. Mine has a little bit of a wrinkle, but I think it looks fine just like that. So again, like we're wrapping a present, I'm going to fold it under and then go across the back. Just making sure that corner is nice and square. Now right here, this is where we're gonna add one to the corner. So I'm gonna hold this shirt tight. I like to stand up just to add a little more pressure, press down and add my staple. Now with this one, instead of going straight across, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other corner. And whenever I do this corner, so I'm folding it over just like I did the last one. Whenever I do this one, I'm gonna just kind of pull the middle too to make sure that it's not going to be wrinkly. And you can see this one is going to have a little bit left open, a little bit of canvas showing right here, but you're not going to be able to see that because it'll be on the back. So I'll make sure to staple right there so it's held down and you'll never be able to know. So I've got my corner folded over. Again, just going to make sure it's not going to wrinkle. I'm going to go ahead and staple in the corner. Holding the shirt tight. All right, so I've got my two corners. Now I'm going to go back through in the middle, pull it a little tight and staple. And then this is the part that's just a little short, but I've got enough where I can staple right here on the back side. So you can see the top is nice and square across the top. Now all we've got to do is do the bottom and we will be done. So you could go ahead and fold it like this if you want to, but I like to cut some of it off again. Just, I don't want to have to try to staple with all that excess material down there. So I'm gonna, just to show you, I'm leaving a couple inches right here to cut off this excess, and that'll give me plenty of room to staple it and then go back and cut all the way around the edge. So cutting off this extra portion down here. And if you didn't want to throw away this extra material from your shirt, you could find something to do with all this extra material. I don't know if you want to use it for cleaning rags around your house or anything like that, but don't feel like you're just wasting any material with this. There's lots of things that can be made out of an old t-shirt. Okay. So now just like the top side, I'm going to get my corner, fold it just like if I had a present and I was wrapping it. Again, we're going to hold that corner tight so that we can staple. And again with this side. Again, the second corner, you want to make sure you check that it's going to be tight across the whole side with no wrinkles or anything like that. So I had a little extra piece of fabric there that was making it have a little bump in it, and I wanted to make sure I moved that. And we can cut that off in just a second. So we'll hold down that piece, go ahead and staple the corner. And I'm going to go ahead and staple across the side now. That extra fabric, just make sure it's pulled to the side out of the way, and we can easily go back and cut it out. And one more. All right, so you see you can leave it just like this. What I like to do is go back and clean up all this extra around. So just cutting, you don't even have to get super close to the staples here whenever you cut. I just don't want to have all that extra material on the back. So if you want to hang it up on your wall, it won't make it bunched up on the wall whenever you get ready to hang it up. And so speaking of hanging it on the wall, I've seen lots of different ways that you can hang canvases on the wall. I know I personally have just used the command hooks. So you can go get the ones where you put this sticky piece on the wall and then one piece on the hook, stick it up there, and it's ready to go. And the hook will go right on the bottom of this lip. Don't have to worry about putting any holes in your wall or anything like that. And it's real easy to take down whenever you want to move it. So you can do it like that. I've also seen where people have tied like some light fishing line, some twine, something like that, any type of hanging material. And you can, let me cut this piece off and I'll show you. It's kind of bunched up at the corner there. So you could put like the line across the back, you could glue it onto the sides. You could put a little, I even saw where someone used a bottle lid or from a can tab, put it right here. They glued that down and then stuck their line around each side, pulled it straight across, stuck their nail in the wall, and their hanger was right there. So it was just like having a picture frame hanger, except they made it themselves. So that was fun. So just cutting off the extra fabric here. Going around, especially at the corners, to make sure you get it all off. Being careful not to cut the fabric that you just wanted to staple down though. And let me get this side over here. And we're almost finished. So I'll show you the final product. And like I said, I did one earlier, so I'll show you both of them. I've got 2 different sizes that I've done. All right, one last corner to cut and then we will be finished. I just don't want to have all this bulky material down here. So when I do hang it up, I want it to lay flat with the wall. So that's the only reason I'm cutting it. But again, you can leave it on there. It is completely up to you. And this just comes from where the shirt was longer on this end down here whenever we cut our design out. All right, so you can see I've got this one. I did one earlier today too. As y'all can tell probably from the last craft, I really like cows. So got a lot of cow things going on in our house. And then I have a really good friend who loves Bigfoot and Sasquatch and all things related to that. So can't wait to give this to her. So we've got 2 different sizes here. You see, you can do this. You can have a plain color, hang it up on your wall, hang it wherever you want people to see it. So hope y'all enjoyed this. Real simple craft. I have not a lot of money in this. Again, the most expensive thing is a staple gun, but if you can borrow one of those, that would be fine as well. Hope y'all liked it and can't wait for you to join us next time. Bye.